what flavors you have on your system and how you are going to practice. Are you going to use any virtual machine, or you are going to work with some remote machine which you are already?
In my case, I'll probably practice at office because I have Linux, Red Hat at office.
Okay, at office. What kind of system you are using at home, and laptop or desktop?
Right now, I'm using a tablet.
Okay, great, fine. So how about you?
Yeah, I'm using laptop for the practice session, but now I'm using the tab.
Okay, fine. So
It's
actually, if you want to practice, you must have any laptop or desktop. That would be easy. Otherwise, yeah, we have alternatives also. No problem. Yeah, so the whole course will goes like this. So we are going to learn about the Unix shell and types of shells. Sorry. So what are the types of shells? Which one is applicable where? Which is the best suitable for what kind of problems? We are going to identify the shells and the user groups and shell permissions, how the permissions are assigned to each one, and use archiving, compressing commands, and we try to understand that we that is a routine works which are you are going to make as automation. You can work on a database side, you can work in any Unix side, or you can use Linux side, or any other application server administrations. You need a archiving process. So this is a regular process which is required for automation process. So we'll discuss that one in our sessions, and we'll discuss most important thing, that is regular expressions. Without this one, no scripting works. So regular expression, most of the symbols which are extract the data what you need from a text file, from a string. So that is the most important thing, which is the base for the Perl scripting. So if you know here regular expressions in shell scripting, you can understand AWK, you can understand SCD, you can understand Perl. So all the four things we can work together if you understand basic regular expressions. Identifying the process management and job controls. So you know process normally we try top command and ps command. These are common commands, but when you are using the scripts from the table, from the process table, how we can extract what we need. Some situations where we need one particular process you want to kill, how to extract only that process. Suppose you want to pick out only Java process, pick out only database process. So this kind of stuff we'll discuss in detail when we come to the process management. Then we'll try to understand the file system in Linux, because I have the file system Linux flavor. So resource management, resources, we have different resources. So that resources, how we can manage, what are the commands related to that, and how we can make a script with that one. And the network resources, this is another huge scope where we can control, automate the things to understand communication process. So sometimes you are going to troubleshoot your environments with the basic checks. So that may be CPU, that may be disk, that may be RAM, all these resources you want to monitor, that we can make scripts. So what are the thresholds, how you are going to maintain all those things we can discuss, and we can look for the network resource monitoring as well. So whenever one database server is not connecting to one particular application server, then how we are going to troubleshoot, how it is helpful if you are going to make automation scripts. That kind of stuff we'll discuss. And text processing, text editors, we'll see most of the vi editor commands. Mostly we work on vi. Okay, so you have any concern, please let me know. First we'll finish the vi on the next session, then we'll move to the next. Writing automation scripts, that is the overall motive, and that is what your takeaway from this overall course. Okay, So the scope, after learning this one, what we are going to, sorry, yeah. So who can learn this one? It's like, sorry, animations is making trouble. So it is applicable for the beginners and system administrators and Linux administrators and DBAs, WebLogic administrator, WebSphere administrator, JBoss administrators. Developers also can learn this one. And the scope, it is everywhere. Most of the environments, they are using Linux or Unix servers only to represent the enterprise level databases, enterprise level applications. So that's why there's a very good scope. Whenever you use the automations, it will be more effective, more efficient, and saves the time and saves the cost. Productivity increases for your projects. Okay, so that's a overall summary. So we are entering into the basic uh, demo. So it's more about Unix and Linux flavors. We want to understand what is Unix, what is Linux first. Okay, so Unix operating system. It is evolved almost 40 years, and it is having multiple flavors and different changes happen to that versions. And Unix version moved from 0 1 2 3 like that. It will came to 5. Fifth version is running now, and all different companies uses the same system 5 Unix. System 5 is a version that is a kernel specification, and that is implemented in every company like HPUX or SCO Unix, or if you go for Solaris. All these three best Unix operating systems are using the same System V version. So that version is having different various implementations on top of the kernel. Okay, so if you go for Solaris, it is 5.11, 5.12, like that. They are given the latest versions. So what is 5? 5 is that system V. So same way HP also implemented, but versions are they are given different versions. Okay, so the little bit history we'll try to understand, then we'll try to differentiate what is Unix and Linux. So both are kernel level, there is a difference. What actually influence when you are writing the script. So when you start a script, I create one script in a Linux. Can I run in a Unix? No, sometimes it doesn't work. Okay, so that's a challenge. So where it gets the conflict, why it is the difference. So that is a basic. If you understand the differences, evolutions, then you can make the script more generic. Once you written one script, that can be work on Unix and as well as in Linux also. Okay, so there are some flavors in Unix. The flavors which I told, that different companies created different versions. So why Unix? Why Unix and Linux? Different features we just see. So when we start the beginning of the operating system learnings, the first learning we are going to know about Unix layers. Okay, so the common layers, if you take, there are just three generic layers. The first layer is hardware. The hardware contains system on number of subsystems. System contains subsystems, CPU resources, memory resources, devices, number of devices. So in Unix, they defined these all system resources can be connected with files. Everything is file in Unix, in Linux. This is common. Kernel, that is wrapping up all the hardware, and it is actually connects with your user space, that last layer. The applications, whatever you are running, database or Java, WebLogic or WebSphere, so and so, all these interact with the hardware with kernel. It is a mediator. Kernel is a mediator between user space and hardware. So when you are using this one, you should aware of what are the kernel commands, what are the user commands, what are the hardware related commands. Then you can make effective scripting. Okay, so hardware level, you have uh, lowest level, that resources, CPU, memory, and devices. Process management, memory management, device management. All these are done by your shell kernel, the operating system kernel. So this kernel takes the command from the shell. The shell is another wrapper on top of the kernel. Shell interacts with the user and your kernel. So the shell command layer, service layer, these two layers are shell. The formation of the shell happens with these two. So command layer, service layer becomes a shell. There are different types of shells. So normally you just Kiran told I am using bash shell. So what is a bash shell? Bash shell is one of the shell, but what is the full form of the bash shell?
Not sure.
Okay. Born again shell. Born again shell. Shell sh. Just sh is the first shell. That is called born shell. So born shell is the first shell from the Unix flavors. After that, there are different number of flavors came in shells, shell types, and each one is having its own different identity. Just like there are C language, Java language, and C++, Perl, so and so languages. Each language is created for different purposes. All languages are general purpose languages only, all high level languages only, but each one is targeting one particular task and they created. In the same way, each shell is having a different capability to use that one. So if you are using bash, it is having different capability. If you are using ksh, it is different capability. If you are using only sh, that is different capability. If you are using Solaris Spark Machine, on that one you can use ZSH, that is more effective instead of using bash. It is faster, efficient. So each shell is having a different kernel architecture connectivities and layers. Okay, so that's why we have various types of shells. You got this? How
Yeah.
the shell forms, how it interacts with the operating system, kernel, and operating system hardware, your users. So users, normally users comes into your database users, application users, and normal shell commands, whatever you are typing at the shell prompt, that is also comes from the user space only. Okay, so in short, I'll just give a high level history. Unix started in 1969, so almost 70s, and it got a lot of improvements from 60s to 70. So in 1973 they released the fifth version. Fifth version is the base for all Unix flavors. So this is a common specification and it is taken improved, and after 3 years they have given sixth edition. Seventh edition also came in 1978. Okay, so Sun Solaris, Sun Spark machines, they are using this fifth version separately. They are using, and Linux is based on BSD, open source kernels. So BSD flavors also provided in a separate uh, this Unix flavors. In Unix Solaris Open Solaris is also available, and just Solaris is also available. Just Solaris is for licensed version, and if you are going for Open Solaris, that is freely available. You can download anywhere. Okay, so this is a common thing. So if you look at this, who are the main motivators or influencers? These are the guys: Ken Thompson and Dennis Ritchie. Dennis Ritchie, who is Dennis Ritchie? Any idea? Thompson and Dennis Ritchie, both the guys are created the C language, and they first created the Unix kernel. They wrote the kernel. Richard Stallman is first came out from the Unix environments, and he made it everything we should have. This should be open source. That operating system should not be closed. It should not be closed for only one company. So Richard Stallman is the revolutionary person, rebel in this era, and he created a open source kernel, and based on this Stallman's open source GNU is created. GNU group is opened. So you might see sometimes GNU commands, GNU utilities, some man commands. Whenever you type in your Unix systems, you can get that one. So all those are initiated by this Stallman, Richard Stallman. Okay, so after this open source is in the revolution time, Linus Torvalds, he was just created one open source kernel, and he named it as a Linux kernel. So basing on that kernel, that is completely open source, anyone take that kernel and rewrite, make any wrapper onto that kernel, and they can name it. So Linux kernel is open source, and he is owner for that one, and he is still continuing owning that one, and is updating the lot of utilities for that one. Whereas this Unix based operating system, they are not updating so fast because it is closed systems. They are closed means not everyone can change the libraries or utilities. The commands which you are seeing, suppose you want to say ls minus l, with you want to give some other option, some t, so that new option should give some new utility for the users. That utility is not readily to take in a Unix, whereas in Linux it is directly acceptable by Linus Torvalds. He is going to accept that one, and it is published to everyone. So every other Linux implementer can use that one. It is not closed. It is not licensed. Everyone can use. GNU means completely open source. So there are several Linux flavors and Unix flavors you have, and these are the overall Linux flavors you can see. So you say Ubuntu, Navel, and AIX, Red Hat, Debian, Fedora, and other CentOS. Lot of flavors came. Oracle also came up with the Oracle Linux, OEL, right? So these are the different flavors of Unix and Linux. So how we can go with the latest trends? That current trend is going with the virtual boxes and virtualization. So virtualization, Oracle VirtualBox is moving very fast because it is open source. Whereas VMware and VMware workstations, these are again proprietary. So you have to purchase, then only you can get the virtualization software. Vagrant is a layer, and you can create a configuration of one virtual box with one file, that is a small Ruby script. So a Ruby script will help to Vagrant to run a one virtual box. So it is easy to manage a virtual box if you use Vagrant and Packer. Docker is a similar kind of technology, whereas it has the capability to run containers, multiple containers. So you can make two or three machines on your same laptop, and each one will have a similar kind of capabilities. You want to make one Red Hat box. First, it is created, configured, and the same Red Hat box is required for the clustering, for Oracle RAC, for some other database replications, or some other data you want to maintain in another copy, then Docker is alternative. So these are all virtualization trends going on, and other than this, cloud is also working with these trends, virtualization with cloud. Okay, so why Unix is so required? Why not Windows or some other flavors, Mac OS? Why we are not using? Because the overall survey, if you look at on the enterprise businesses, most of the Linux flavors, if you see FreeBSD, that is Ubuntu and other stuff, that comes into FreeBSD. That is 22% of overall occupying. So that is undiscovered sites. Means they are just using in universities. They are using only in learning purpose. They are just creating small sites. Whereas classic sites like the business which is e-commerce site like Flipkart or some other bigger environment, bigger e-commerce sites, that classic sites. So they are using 7%. Linux, regular Linux, Red Hat Linux or flavored Linux, that is 27%. But in the biggest market, if you see, Solaris is 61%, and other flavors, if you see Windows and Mac OS, other things, only 5% in the classic side. Okay, undiscovered side, it is maximum. Linux is 37%. Solaris is only 34%. Okay, so that's why Unix flavors are most important for the business, and we are working on software industries. Definitely, they are using the one of them, Linux or Unix flavors. So it's the first time we are going to use this Unix features. I think it will be boring for you. So let me start actual system. So we'll try to understand the directory structure. Whenever you start a system, the kernel interact with the different subsystems. The subsystems are each one is stored in a separate directory. So this is complete Unix and the Linux kernel interactions happens with the root directory. So the root directory is going to have a slash root and etc boot menti home proc sys dev bin sbin lib usr. So these are the common directories which you can see in Unix and Linux also. So usr again contains bin and sbin and lib. Okay, so Ramakrishna, tell me what is the significance of etc?
Yeah, it contains all the configuration files whatever we do for an application or anything it stores under the slash etc.
Yeah, can you give an example, anything?
We use an Apache servers like http.conf file
Uh-huh.
or result.conf file, whatever the configurations mostly we save under the slash etc, so that anyone who wants to troubleshoot or come to know where the configuration files located, we normally search slash etc for the first
Yeah.
time.
Yeah. So all system related resources which are configured, that configurations are available in etc slash etc. So that is the most important thing. So whenever you want to start and stop the services, it may be network, it may be application, web servers or anything. So that we'll look into this one. So slash root is super user. We don't touch for the scripting purpose. We don't need to look at it. So administrator, of course, Ram Krishna need to look for the slash root. But boot, what is a boot will do? Slash boot.
Yeah, it contains the kernel images, all the things there slash boot by.
So do you use again this one boot boot directory?
Yeah, mostly while during booting issues, normally we check here. Other than that, normally we now go there.
Okay. So is there any need of restarting that time if it is fails, and do you use this boot system?
But we normally work with VM Linux image files which located under slash boot directory. Other than that, we normally not touch this boot.
Right. So boot system we don't touch. So normally what will look etc and home and mnd proc is very important process management, we need to look into that, and sys system level hardware, the devices which are we are going to access, So hard disks are something which you want to look for, that is we are going to look with the MMP mount points, and the devices we are going to declare with the slash dev. So devices file lives in the slash dev, and bin, it is going to have all executable commands where we have all utilities, all kernel interacting scripts will be available in the bin directory. Has been super user executable commands. Library is available, and it is for security purpose we are going to use SSH, sometimes we are going to use LD library, sometimes we are going to use some other path variables. So all this relates to this library, and user normally whenever you create on a Linux operating system, that user is going to have a separate set of commands. That set is available from the slash usr bin and sbin, and there are you might have the bundle like 500 600 libraries. Out of that some 200 libraries are available for the users, so limited access is given to the user. So if you need some extra libraries or extra commands, then again you need to go to system administrator, Unix or Linux administrator. They are going to provide that extra commands to your users. Okay. So first thing, if you want to learn this shell scripting, we want to know completely about VI editor. So let me check how many commands you remember. You know the commands or you don't know. Uh, how do I insert a text in VI editor?
I
Uh, yeah.
we have a different option like inserting a text, like we use I to insert over there, add a small a to append at the end of that line,
Okay.
or shift a O capital we can come at the end of the line. These basic things I know.
Okay. Good. So how about who told now? Ramakrishna.
Yeah, this is it. Yeah, Ramakrishna.
Okay, Kiran. How about
Yeah,
you?
yeah, similar thing. Maybe
Ah,
shift key.
okay. So what is the use of capital O? Kiran, what is the use of O?
O.
O.
No, I did not use O or anything. Inserting and no, I did not use shortcuts except for Shift G
Mm-hmm. What is a shift G?
to get to the last line of the files.
Okay. Any other command, Ramakrishna?
Yeah, other than that, normally I use dd commands to delete the lines,
Okay. Good.
and I use e command, e letter, d e b command to come back, db
Mm-hmm.
to delete the some words, forward words, backward words,
Okay. So how to go to the end of the line?
and I press.
End. Okay. So latest version it is allows, but in Unix it doesn't allow. In Linux it will allow.
Yeah, basically I work on next. I learn like initially like a dollar. Some symbols are there used to be there, but
Ah,
when I come with end, I started using it.
okay.
Start and end, home and
Okay.
end.
Okay, okay. So keyboard home and end you are using. Okay. Yeah,
Yes.
fine. So actually that symbols were used in regular expressions, and that is the
Okay.
significance. That's why I am asking. So the same symbols will be used in searching also. If you want to search something on the file, you can do. Is I am audible?
Yeah, yeah.
Okay, fine.
Yes.
So in VI editor, we have three types of modes. On the screen, you can see there are three types of mode: insert mode, command mode, and bottom line mode. Three modes are there. Okay, so from command line, something you want to give a command, then you will go to the command. So from there you are going to give the command, it will go to the, it will take the command and execute. You want to search something, how you are going to search in vi editor?
Just a
Slash and
slash
the
and
search word.
Slash and word you are going to give. Okay, so how to replace? Percentage yes, then you can give the slash search word and replace word slash, two times slash you have to give. So double slash is actually for matching one expression, and another slash which you are going to replace. Okay, so if you want to replace one time, it will work. If you want to do multiple times up to the end of the file, then you have to give g. Okay, so from 10th line onwards you want to do this replacement, you just give 10 percentage yes. So it will start from the 10th line and it will start replacing the words. So these commands it is taking at the bottom. Okay, so once you enter, that command will be executed on your file. Once you are coming out of that one, you are using the escape sequence. Escape, then you are following I for inserting, A for appending. From the cursor, next character you are going to enter. For that purpose we are using A. Capital A is for end of the line, capital I beginning of the line, O means next line, insert in the next line. Capital O means insert above line. Okay, so these are the different insert modes, conversion command options. After this one, you can again you can control the some of the text by deleting all dd x and other commands which work with the escape sequence, right? So escape mode, you are going to work with that. Right. So other than this, if I don't find VI where I can type, there are alternatives. Nano is another editor, and Emac is another editor. Gedit is also available in GUI. So it is completely looks similar to Notepad in a Windows system. Okay, so but if you more practice, vi is a much more faster than all these GUI editors, because mouse searching clicking that takes longer time than what you type faster. So that is the suggestible. So if you know vi, your scripting will be faster. So vi commands are here. So how many commands you can recognize out of this? How many you have used?
Maybe 10 or so,
uh,
not more than that.
okay, so did you copy pasted anytime in VI editor? How to paste?
Yes, we used to hang the files and paste it. Y and the P. I
Right.
used to do that.
So yanking line, capital Y, only yank, you can use Y. And if you want to paste, you can use P. Paste before capital P. So all these are very important commands. So if you do practice, it will be much more easy to work with the scripting. So this is overall summary today. What we have learned: uh, hardware interacts with the kernel. System calls actually is going to talk. So there are some commands I'll just give. So open, write, close. All these are related with the system call, system invocation of in Unix. Everything is file. So read, write, open, close. All these are files, file commands. Fork is a process, child process creator. Wait, it will wait for something is need to complete. Execute, one process, one shell program is going to create another subshell and it is going to execute. That exec is a command. Okay, so this is system level, interface level commands. Other than this application level, if you are going to see all C, C++, Java, that would be another layer. System libraries, they need them. Shell is working on top of it, one of these internal compilers, linkers. Above that one, we are going to have bash, sh, csh, ksh, zsh. These are the shells. Okay, so the level is little bit higher compared with the compilers and linkers. But actual program works from above this shell, above the shell. Application programs work in the next layer, above layer. So there you can have a utilities programs, C programs or Java programs, all programs work from this one, application program layer. Above that one, completely sophisticated X Windows or Windows that will be working on the top layer. Okay. So this is a overall system, Unix system level architecture. You have any questions?
No, at this point.
Okay, fine. Uh, So overall summary, we have a kernel means it's a core of the Unix system, interacts with directly with the operating system. It may be Unix or it may be Linux. So largely this scripts, utilities, all utility scripts are written by C language, written in C language. So we can interact C libraries and then it can talk to the lowest level, next level. So it may go to the assembly language or linkers, then it will give the actual output, actual interaction between the hardware and your user space. So it insulates the other parts of the operating system and you can get the outputs from the hardware. So it performs all low level functions. Low level functions means or binary data you can transfer, stream of the data you can transfer using these shells. All applications deals with the kernel that works with your shell scripts. And you can handle all the devices with your shell scripts. You can mount, you can unmount, you can use printer, you can stop printing, all this you can do with the scripts, because everything, a script means it's a bunch of commands. So if you know the commands, you can make a script. The automation is nothing but making some script with a programmatical structure. The program structure consists of, you are going to have a conditional statements, you are going to have the iterations, you are going to have the blocks subset of shells. So that will make a shell scripting. Okay, so that is overall structure where we are going to make the shell scripts for memory management, process management, file management, and interrupt handling, input output processing, or shell scripting that controls the networks, the system accounting. Also you can make scripts, how many users are connected, how many users are just logged out, what time they are logged out, all this kind of stuff we can collect into separate auditing files. System level logs we can collect, system level information we can fetch and give from the shell scripts. So shell is actually interface between the users and the kernel. That is a common thing which I'm showing from the beginning. And the commands interpreter in Unix and Linux both looks similar. The interpretation is same. That provides powerful programming capabilities, system administration capabilities, text processing, that is a regular expression if you are going to learn, that it will going to give you, and file management, we can control, give the permissions and use different commands to make the file accessibility. Unix utilities we can create from the shells, and you can customize your daily activities. Your own shell you can make and you can customize how you want to make the shell available. That is environment customization. Once you are running with the bash shell, what are the environment variables you want? Suppose Kiran want all the database related environment variables. Oracle SID you want. Oracle database related libraries where it is. So that kind of environment variables we can specify customizing the environment variables and we can use them. User can use a different shells on the same machine. Within the same machine, one Linux machine, I can use CSH, I can use bash, I can use ZSH. That depends on the machine and the shells. So where you can see the shells, which shells are available on your system, how we can check?
Slash proc shells.
Shells always available in bin directory slash bin. If you go to slash bin and ls hyphen l, you can give star.sh, all shells end with sh. So you can see list of shells available in the bin directory. How many shells are available? You can see there. In Solaris, I can see ZSH, KSH, whereas in Linux, I cannot see ZSH. I can see only bash. I can see other shells is available. C shell I don't find. So there are differentiation between Linux and Unix. Some shells are available in both. Some shells are available only specific to the proprietary operating systems. So if you take KSH, it is much more fastest shell. If you compare with the other shells, KSH is the fastest shell. It is written in such a way it should not take much time to execute. That interaction with the kernel, the library linking capability is much more higher compared with any other shell scripts. Whereas in bash shell, we are more comfortable in writing the script. We can change anything, we can do whatever you want to do. That is more flexible to write. But complexity is more in KSH, CSH. C is more like C programming, but KSH is a little bit complex. That's why it is used for more towards network side. Whenever you want to transfer the data, whenever you want to send over a network, then we'll use KSH. Okay, so if you want to learn, you can refer any book. If you want to buy online or buy, these are the books which are readily available. Okay, so references you can see. So what I do, if you are sign up with my course, I'll share my presentations and I will do practical plus this one. So today it's just a demo. So I'll stop here. You have any questions, Kiran and Ramakrishna?
No questions from my
Uh,
side.